second day of the webinar, very important, interesting webinar, prevention of injuries in track and field. I'm here, the full time today, directly to York Tetschmann. Pak York Tetschmann, it's yours.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yes. So before I start, I guess I give our director, Ria, that he make his opening speech for today. And then, one more time, I guess the organizer already apologized. It was not my mistake yesterday. It was the hand of God, so we have to accept it. That can be happen. So no worries. I guess additionally, we can do something today, and maybe we cut off a little bit our lunch break, that you got everything what we prepared for you guys, and that you can see it as well. And so in the morning for Ria, I promise we will start with a little bit physical stuff. So, and then we started with the theory. Yeah, okay, Ria, please.
Okay, thank you, York. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, especially our lecturer, Mr. York Tetschmann, and his rehab therapy team. So, sorry, yesterday I couldn't join you, but today I hope I can join this meeting, very important seminar. And of course, every year we will invite Mr. York and the rehab therapy team to give us to update us about the therapy and also prevention injuries. So this one is very important, not only for the coaches but also for the team of our team in athletic. So today I hope everything will be running well, and we apologize. Yesterday was a problem with our connection. So hopefully today will be good. And another thing is, actually we plan this year to have on-site seminars and on-site workshop, but the problem is AAA still didn't give us the time for the on-site, so we organize in the online seminar. Hopefully next year we will come to Malaysia to rehab therapy laboratory and to do our seminar on site. So York, be prepared for next year. I hope we can do there in your office and in your laboratorium, then we can do much better. Okay, and I hope you enjoy this seminar, even though in the situation. But of course, I'm sure that York will prepare some feedback. Feature. Okay, thank you.
I guess it's my turn. I couldn't understand Ria in the end, and he's frozen. I hope everything is fine.
Yeah, give back time to you.
Yeah, so now I can see you again. All right. I will be very happy to welcome you guys next year in my center here in KL, in Kuala Lumpur. And yes, so we can travel again, and we will see what we can do. And sometimes, seeing is believing. I mean, it's not easy for us as well when you have to talk for 3 or 4 hours. Yeah. And we don't know actually that you get everything what we are teaching. So it's much better because you're also, when you're physical there, it's much easier to ask the question as in front of everyone. What is normal? All right, guys, we are going back to our screen. And what I said already, we will start with our physical stuff. And we are doing this Okay, let us share the screen. I hope you can see, and I said we did a little bit our self-advertising. Yeah, last year we published this in Advanced in Physical Education journal, and we are only talking about hip mobility and flexibility. How important is this actually for track and field athletes? Everyone knows the hip in Cora is the most important stuff for track and field athletes. And a lot of people sometimes have an issue with what means mobility and what means flexibility. In this publication, we came out a little bit and why you need and what is important. And it will be very good and helpful when you can bring it at least once or twice a week. Not every exercise what is there described, you bring it inside and you will see you really can reduce injuries, yeah, especially with the hamstring and groin error, what is quite common in track and field. Okay, you give us 3 minutes. We are going to my lab and then I see you there and then we start, yeah. And please don't be shy. You can do it yourself, yeah. Maybe that you know, Sunday morning exercise, it's not heavy, it's actually quite easy. All right, I see you in 3 minutes. See you.
Okay. Me first or you first? Oh.
So I hope you can see me and you can hear me. Welcome to Rehab therapy. So what I say, we want to do it a little bit for fun as well. When you think about your hip, normally our hip is not mobile enough, especially for our athletes. Yeah, most of the muscles are very inflexible when this has happened. Yeah, and with the muscular disbalance, we can actually create injuries. So also on ourselves, we can check it out how mobile we are actually in our hip region. So what I do, and you can do this actually every morning when you wake up and you stand out of the bed. So like Jörg in the morning is like this, he's thinking, okay, why I have to do this every morning? But what I will do then, try to move, and you sit straight, and you try to move forward your knees. In your upper body is in a very, very, very straight position. I hope you can see that I'm moving my knees forward and backwards, and this only have to do with your hip mobility. So maybe you can see it. very simple and you can check it out. Most of the guys will do this, but this is totally wrong. You can see as well, take your time, move forward and backward. Forward and backward. Forward and backward. Forward, backward. Forward and backward. Then you release and then you try it again. Forward, forward, backward. You realize that my upper body doesn't move. It's the most important. It's only coming from your hip area. And this has something to do with mobility. So one more time, this one doesn't count. It makes no sense. Yeah, try with the legs. What you can do as well is that, okay, I have issues. Put your hands on your knees. And then you start with your right leg, left leg. And you must feel that your patella here is moving under your fingers. Then everything is fine. So I give you 3 minutes to check it out yourself, and I hope everything will be fine. Yeah, and you let me know. You can write it down what you feel, or you're moving your upper body, or you can't move at all, or you do this. Yeah, but this doesn't work. So one more time. This one, yeah, your shoulder doesn't move. Only your knees forward and back. Yeah, it looks simple, but it's not, believe me. Okay, check it out.
Sir George, excuse me. Can I see the position of your feet, please?
Okay, now.
So how many people? Yeah, check
Lower,
it.
lower,
Yeah,
the
you
feet.
are coaches.
Want
and
to see the
physicians, please do it.
whole.
Yeah, and let
the
me
whole
know how
thing.
you feel.
Sir
Hi,
George.
good morning. Hi, good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir.
Morning. So guys, I can see you. I have to come back. Wait. So, okay. All right. So, down on my knees. Luckily, I can.
Yeah, I want to see the feet, sir, please. I want to see the whole position of your body, including the feet. You can do it again.
We do it again.
The heels.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
You couldn't
please.
see.
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole
Now-
position, including the feet.
All right. Oh, you only can see the feet. Right?
Including
No.
the feet, please.
Including the feet.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
And the feet doesn't
Okay,
move.
okay. Okay, that's it. That's better.
Feet doesn't
A little.
move, please. Okay. Put your hands on your knees. Yeah, like this. Then you move forward and backward. You can see. So you check it out yourself. Move forward and backward. Or you put your hands here. Then my range of motion is much better. And
One more time.
my right side is also much mobile than the left. So I have to do more on my left side. So now I give you 2 minutes, you check it out yourself. And let me know, think about this one, doesn't count. This one doesn't count, yeah?
Thank you
I
so
only
much.
want to see how you can do this. So now I'm coming back. I think we do this for a while. It will be painful. So I'm back. How many times you got it? Everyone, or you had some issues with this easy, what I call it easy stuff, but a lot of people say, I mean, my patients, especially football players, throwers have some issues with this exercise. It is simple.
Feel good.
And the good one is when you do this regularly in the morning after you wake up, you will activate your brain. Something to do. Yeah? It's very simple and very good.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Any question to this one? No, huh? Good. All right. No? Everyone is there? Cool. Then what I'm doing next, up. So when you're done with it, I do it relaxed and easy and simple. Yeah. One more time, this, and then I do this. I put my right leg, and I put my elbow, and I move forward. And now I will stretch my piriformis, and it's a nice feeling. So our cameraman is still running around. So one more time. Put your leg over, and this you can do also in the morning. Put it down and move forward. And what I say to you, I have issues with my left hip. This is not so mobile than the right side. Right side is much better. Yeah, so you can see, right is easy for me to move in this direction. So I have to work much more on my left side. I know that, but yeah, it's not easy. So you can check it out. Sit straight, put your forearm on your knee, and you move forward and pull a little bit down, and then you feel the nice stretch. Okay? Good. So I will be back. Running a lot today. Exercise is good. So we got it. I hope so. And what we will do now in our paper, what we published was about 14 to 15 exercises, yeah, and 16. 15. So what we do now, we will start with the mobility exercise. My assistant will be here, yeah, and I will be in the background, and maybe I give some comments, but she will talk as well, and you will see. Most important, we take time, we can check, you can check it as well. We are doing the video anyway, and then we have it, everything black and white. So what I say, check it out, and after, when we are done, I guess in half an hour, we can have a Q&A session. All right, okay. Ken. Hi, I'm Singyi.
Hello, good morning everyone. My name is Singyi. So next I will do more about hip mobility exercise. So the first exercise we'll do is try to open up your legs with the wider stance. After that, try to squat down, okay, and move your hips to the right and left. Okay, as you can see, the hips try to go to the right, left, right, left. And let me know how you feel. So do it 50 seconds or 5 sets if you have time. But now, of course, we don't have too much time. So, but we try to do it slowly. Right, right. Okay. So I will do it one more time. So try to open up your legs with wider stance. After that, squat down. Okay, and try to move your hips to the right, left, right, left.
Guys, also also not important to go deep. Don't need. So what she's doing, the 90 degrees is perfect. Yeah, you don't have to go down to the left. Yeah, that's yeah. Important is that you move.
That's really nice. Okay.
You got it? Okay. So next, I will show the second exercise, which is try to kneeling, and one leg straight and the feet points up. After that, try to sit on the side. You can see how I do. I sit on my heel. This is my side leg. So I come back here. So what you want to do is goes up and down. So you have to extend your hips and flex your hips. So I do it. Okay, one. So these two. One, two, two.
To make it easier for you as well, you can put this under your knee. Yeah, and then the liver is much shorter. Yeah, because some people can't do it immediately with the 90 degrees. So you bring this a little bit up, it's much easier. Yeah, and it's also safe your knee. Yeah, it's not so painful. All right.
Sir George, excuse me. Sir George, can I see the side position of that exercise, please?
Sure, sure.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. Your knee.
Sorry.
No issue.
So sit on the
Yeah, so that we can see the proper position of it in the side view. Thank you.
back. Rest hand. Straight. Back. Flexions. Sit backwards. Stand. Flexions. Stands. Flexions. It's okay?
Thank you so much.
Perfect.
All right. So we're going to the third exercise. So I put it on the side. So the third exercise, you have to open up your legs as wider as you can. After that, try to use your elbow, put it on the floor, and try to push your hips up and down.
So I can't do this anymore. So that's the reason. Yeah, Jenny is doing this. Yeah. So maybe you can also show this from the side. Yeah. What she's doing is much better. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
So you can see you have to bounce your hips up, down, bouncing. All right, everything's okay? Okay, so we are going to our forward exercise, which is further positions. Sit down first. One leg straight, and another leg you have to rotate to the sides. Okay.
I guess, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people know that we call it in track and field a hurdle sit. Yeah. So important every time that you check, it's within the 90 degrees. Yeah. So you can do this also like this, and then what we want to do is actually change the leg side.
Press your palm, or push up. After that, make your leg straight and turn. Turn. Press down, up. Turn. Wait, last one. Press up, straight, turn, and go down.
Wait. What you can do as well when you want to stretch a little bit more, so you can move backwards. And you feel a nice stretch here. Yeah? And this has nothing to do with mobility, but when you have this position already, so you can do this as well. It's nothing wrong with it. Okay? So next one.
Okay, the next one, the hard exercise. It's more easy for you because you have to lie down all the way on the mat and lie out your hands over above your head. After that, cross your legs. Try to rotate your hips to the right and to the left.
Can we make you come from the front? Yeah. Tell them how many times.
You have to do this for 15 seconds with 5 sets.
3 to 5 is enough. Yeah, you have too much time.
Yeah. So 15 seconds. You have to continue to shift your hips, rotate your hips to the right and left. Finding this more easy.
And more relaxed.
Yeah, it's more and more relaxed. So the next 6 exercise is then with lying down, but you have to be straight. Your legs have to be straight, and one leg go to the side and just hold it for 15 seconds.
So what is happening here now? You have a very nice stretch in this area and also on your side abdominal muscle going to your shoulder. Yeah. So luckily it is quite flexible. I had some issues with this stuff. Yeah. So you keep it there for at least 15 seconds, but you're done, and then you change. Yeah, this side. And again, at least 15 seconds. Check it out that everything is straight. Yeah. And it's a very good position. You see the 90 degrees. It's a good stretch and also on your glutes and this side. Yeah. So I guess one more time on each side. Yeah.
Side. Change. Okay. So next, we're showing you the number 7 exercise, which one to shift to another side.
yeah.
So next, with the set mobility, hip mobility exercise, with the number 7 hip mobility exercise with the band. So if you have band, it's more better for you to use it. So what I'm going to do is put one leg inside the band and put it on the tight. Okay, as higher as you can. After that, do the lunges positions. So the band is pulling you to the backwards. Okay, so lunges positions with the band pulling backwards. So what you do, okay, is try to move forwards and backwards. Forwards and backwards. Forwards and backwards. So do it 50 times with 3 sets.
What you can do as well, then you can, make it a little bit tougher for her, move forward. When you only hold the rubber band a little bit tighter and come back. And then you feel the, moving is much tougher, And of course, when it's coming back, it's much easier, So use the resistance from the rubber band, it's much better because some people are quite good and some people are not so good. So you do it 10, 12 times, then you change the side,
Yo, someone asked you a question.
Yes.
Can you explain the hip impingement and demonstrate us some rehab exercises? Okay.
Right.
Okay. So next, I will show you the number 8 hip mobility exercise as well. So we just, because now if the band is pulling to the backwards, and now I just want to change, but use the same legs. Okay, just change the directions. So the band is pulling forward. So with the same positions, lunges positions, and
You can go backwards. You can. You are fit, not like me. Yeah.
Tight. And same with forwards.
To make it tougher again, put it like this. So you help her, and then you have to work much more against,
So what is the difference between this exercise with and the last exercise is you can see the directions. Now it's pulling forward. Just now it was pulling backwards. So with the same 15 seconds, 15 sets.
Or you can also do 10 repetitions, 8, or I call it 8 to 12. Everyone is different. So no worries about this, And then you change the side. You can do it 2, 3 sets. It's not a big deal.
So next I'll show you the number
Change the
8.
sides.
Change to another side with pulling you to the adductor side. So same with lunges positions, but now you no need to move. You just try to stay there and hold it on with 15 seconds. Try to make it tighter.
So you realize she's quite fit, But our athletes, I hope so as well. And then you have to feel really that it's moving inside, that you have to work against it,
So this is the number 9 exercise.
Change the
So
side,
change the last hip movement.
Change the
Or
side.
change the sides. So just now was pulling you to the adductor side, and now it's pulling you to the abductor side. So same with pulling out, and you just want to hold it up against. just now was pulling inside, now it's pulling outside.
Also try to bring the rubber band close to your hip as possible. Yeah, because when you put it here, the resistance is much harder. You try it one time. Yeah, because we have to start first. This is much tougher. So you realize, you can see, yeah, she's totally unstable right now. Yeah, this is a totally different movement because the liver is much longer.
So try to put it as close as you can inside. So I will do it the whole things with the band. First is the backwards.
Yes.
So the first one is the backwards. Backwards, and we just run forwards. So the second one is turn. Pulling from the front. So we send. Forwards, backwards. So number 3 is go to the side with pulling inside the adductors side. So just put it here and move to the side first and hold it on for 15 seconds.
Is this exercise possible without rubber? Someone asked.
You can do it, but there's no effect. Tell them always. Wait. Guys, we got a lot of questions. What we will do, let us finish this first and then we will answer all the questions. Okay? Yeah? Write it down that we can see it. It's much easier. Yeah? And we don't have to interrupt her. Thank you.
Alright. So we are going to do our last hip mobility exercise. Just now was pulling the inside, right? And this time, we're trying to change our directions to the outside. So stand, grab it against the floor, and hold it on for 15 seconds. So your body cannot shift like this. You have to be straight and against the bed.
Excuse me, Sir George, just clarification. In that position, you are just stretching, pulling, you're pulling, stretching the rubber band, or just in the static position.
You work
Static
against
position.
the resistance of the
Static
rubber.
position. Okay,
You
pull
work
it.
against the resistance of the rubber band.
Okay.
Yeah. So your hip, actually, what you're doing, you have to move your leg inside, and the rubber band actually want to pull you outside. This is what you want to do.
Okay, thank you.
It's not about the flexibility. This is mobility.
Resistance. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So we are going to move to the flexibility exercise. So now what I'm doing is all about flexibility. Okay. So the first. Sorry.
Come here.
So the first flexibility exercise, what you want to do is to open up your legs as wide as you can, like just now with the exercise. Put your hands on the floor. After that, walk to the front and walk back.
So the stretch will be in your adductors. Yeah? True?
Yes.
Yes.
Forward and walk backwards. Send with 15 seconds. 3 sets. Backwards. 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 Okay. So now I'm going to show you the second exercise. Okay. So try to sit down on the mat. After that, opens up your legs as wide as you can, like just now. Okay. So what you're going to do is put your body forwards. Okay. From the sides, the right side, and slowly go to the left, like a clock. And after that, go to the right. So try to push your body down. Here we do one time. Left. Go to the right.
You also, when you stretch the adductors, you also stretch, yeah, your side. That is quite important, yeah, for track and field athletes as well.
Okay. So next, I'm going to show you the floor flexibility exercise, which is try bend your one leg, bend, another leg is straight with the feet on the ground. Okay. So try to lift up your hips to 90 degrees. Okay. And send that. Go to the side so we can see my side way with 90 degrees, and put your hand on the ground and send from the right to the left.
Expect as well for which muscles.
So you can feel inner muscles and the sides. Okay, from the right to the left. So you can feel it here.
Guys, don't forget, try really to the 90 degrees. You better here in the 90 degrees when you have this time, you much better is to stretch. Yeah? Especially the adductor and also on the side. Yeah? The two components, but it's quite important for me to see. Yeah? Because this doesn't work when he's up here and move to the left to the right. Yeah? Come up again, show the wrongs. Yeah? Some people can't really do this. This is okay for the beginning, but you have to go step by step to come in this position.
90 degrees.
Yes.
So you cannot do it like that. You have to squat down. Okay. So next, I'm going to show you the number 5 flexibility exercise. This exercise is very easy. Stand with lying down on the mat. Opens up hand and one leg. Put it on your knees and rotate your hip to the sides. And hold it on.
Tell us how which muscle which.
So you will feel side legs, the IT band. And try to push the left legs, try to push it down so you can feel it more.
So guys, now you realize why I don't do this here because I'm not so good like her. Yeah, that's the reason I put CD inside. Much better.
So after 50 seconds, you can try to shift to another leg. So your heels and rotate to another side. So these legs you have to push it down so you can feel more on your IT band. Okay, so last exercise I'm gonna do is I have to move to another side. Please find a wall like this. Okay, a wall like this. And what you're gonna do is push your legs and toes cross the wall. After that, the knees. Okay, cross the wall and use your both hands to walk the side wall. Use your hand, put it the side wall, and try to push up your knees, and you can feel more on the side. Remember, you have to push up your knees. That's why you need to feel more here. Like that, you can't do it. Push. Here, just for 50 seconds. Change. Alright, so these are our last flexibilities exercise. So my part will be finished. So you can let me know what's with you. Thank you.
Well done. So what you can do, thank you very much, Simi. What you can do as well, additional, what I like to do with our athletes, let them stand here after this and you only do the swing. To the left and right. Our hurdles doing this anyway, but there's also equipment, yeah. Maybe our middle distance, yeah, jumpers, etc. doing this as well. So relax and easy to a swing, yeah. Every time both sides, you do it sideways, and you don't have to think how many repetitions. Everyone can do it how he likes to do. 6 to 8 is normal, and then also that you're moving forward and backwards. Relax and easy, no stress at all. Yeah. So move forward, backward, change the side, same thing. Easy and relaxed. I think my left side is not so mobile than the right, and I have to accept, so I have to work with it. All right. Give us 3 minutes. We have to go back to the room, and then we do the Q&A. See you in 3 minutes. Thank you. All right. Oh,
We have to change that one.
okay.
Okay, that's not.
So, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, yes.
All right. Okay. So you realize actually when you do all this exercise, you need at least 40 minutes. It is a little bit too long, so you don't have to do it so long. Yeah. So you cut yourself. Yeah. Choose maybe 2 or 3 exercise every day, and then you will see. Yeah. It's very relaxing and very good. It's also what we call it injury prevention. And it's very simple to explain. When you have an imbalance in your muscles, in your hip, you will get knee pain and hip pain, and we don't want. And this is black and white. Yeah. And when you have an enhanced range of motion in your hip, yeah, you can improve your motor performance and your skill execution. Yeah. And as well, you can prevent much more injuries when you had this before. We are quite good in track and field that our athletes' stiffness is not so much, but when we did our publication, we check it out and we realize, oh my God, this is actually what we are never think about so much. And we have to accept, guys, maybe what I call it every time is a stepchild on a desert island. So we know it's there, but we put it away. So do me a favor, guys, you check it out. I mean, we have a video, black and white. You can read our stuff as well. Yeah, it's that you get it, what we want and how, yeah, we can prevent injury in a very good way. Yeah, we don't need the best apparatus and all the machines. It's actually simply when you know what the human anatomy is and how you can actually improve this. Okay, we got some questions. Hi,
Sure.
Mr. Jörg, can you explain the hip impingement and demonstrate us some rehab exercise? So it's a very good one. A lot of people calling a snapping hip, and you feel some issues. What I say every time first, before we start with any exercise, because some exercise can be totally contra. Before you start, try to find out what is the reason for this impingement. Is this a nerve? Is this a tendon, or is it something else? So normally what you can do, check it with the MRI, or you have a good physio. He is quite good. It can be a lot of things, yeah, and there is not immediately, yeah, a solution from my side. I said, look, this exercise, it's now the glue to everything. Unfortunately, it's not. So we have to go step by step to find out what is the reason. A lot of hip problems coming actually that our little muscle, the piriformis, is too tight, because this muscle is actually responsible for all movements in your hip. When he is too tight, you will face some issues. Yeah, you have to think as well that some of the hip flexors, especially the ellipsoas, come from your backside. It's going over the hip as well. When this guy is too tight, you will face some issues as well. So we have to find out, yeah, and then everything is okay. Yeah. Then he said the exercise can possible without rubber. Yes, but you need a little bit of resistance when, I mean, when you want to do it as a coach with your athletes, you can do it, but with the rubber, it's much easier and you can teach them. Yeah. Do this exercise. Yeah. For me, actually, it's better you do it after your training. Yeah. Take your time, because it's a learning process. You can't do it immediately. Yeah. But yeah, most of our athletes in the hurdles, they will do it anyway before the training, because for them it is nothing new, because they are quite good there. Yeah. And this we can do. Yeah. Oh, there's more. I think we can do this. Yes, but think about, you don't have so much time as well. Your training time is also limited. And yeah, what I say, twice a week, you will be happy and you see some improvement. Yeah. Then the next one, this exercise will give them to all track and field. Or, yeah. I'm honestly, we actually was thinking when we wrote this publication, you can do it for everyone, because everyone has issues. Yeah. Yeah. So don't be shy. I know our drawers have some issues with their hips, but when they are flexible and mobile there, it's very simple for me. When you are good in your hip, and especially when you have a good range of motion, you can improve a lot of power inside. And the power is coming from your legs going to the hip and going up to the shoulder in a throwing event. It is like this. Yeah. And it's also good for javelin. Yeah. For the jumpers, it's actually for everyone. So don't be afraid, and go ahead with this exercise. Or it is exercises to put it inside in your weekly routine. Yeah. And don't do every exercise. Yeah. Don't need. You start with 2, 3, start from the easy way to the heavy way, and you will see, it works. All right. Anything else? Let me know. I guess that's it for right now.
Sorry, George.
Yes.
I was doing the exercises with your colleague,
Yes.
who is much more flexible than I am.
Welcome to the real world.
Yes. So at the moment, I could say it's a bit sore. Would you say start with people that are a little bit stiff? Is there certain grades you would start with? Start them away from the 90 degrees, maybe a little bit before you go to 90?
Yes, that's what I said already. It's very, very simple. Xingyi is awesome.
Yeah.
when I do this, it looks terrible. So that was the reason I need a good example. Yes, of course. Start with the lower ankle. It's much easier, and then you will see, you will improve step by step, and then you will see it's getting much better. Yeah.
Okay.
No doubt about it. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Welcome.
One more question.
Yes.
Sure, George. Sure.
Yes. Yeah. Hi.
I would like to ask about the exercise stretching. This is more advisable. The combination with static, dynamic, or just focus first static and dynamic.
One more time, I didn't get it.
I asked if it is more advisable to apply during the stretching, dynamic first or the static, which is more outcome first.
I see it. Okay, perfect. Look, I will do a good mix between after the training. I will call it do 3 exercise dynamic and 3 exercise static. Yeah, it's very simple. Yeah, and very relaxed. You have to start separate. And the first, I call it 3 to 5 sessions. It's a learning process anyway. Yeah, so you have to go step by step inside. Yeah, and you will realize when you do it, all your athletes, they will be stiff for a while. Yeah, but this is new. This is an adaptation. Yeah, and the good one is we know that from track and field or from sports science, the body adapt to the training. So do it. What I advise you, do it 2 or 3 repetition exercise dynamic and 3 exercise static.
Static.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
I think that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, good. Okay. So I guess it's good when we have maybe a 5 minutes rest or a coffee break, and I see you guys in 10 minutes. Yeah?
Yes,
We have-
surely.
Yeah, perfect. Anything, any questions regarding this stuff, please let me know. It's not a big deal. Okay, perfect. So I see you
Okay.
in 10 minutes. Jumpa lagi.
Okay, in 10 minutes. Thank you. Hello, I'm calling for you who use the Galaxy M30s and also Zoom user. Could you please so kindly rename with your own name? Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Good. All right. Is everyone ready?
Yes, they are here already.
Already recharged.
Yeah. You have your coffee, everyone, so that you.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Getting live again.
yeah.
Getting live again.
You see? Yeah. Copy O, Ria?
Yes, exactly. Yes, copy O, always.
And sweet. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no,
No?
no,
No.
no sugar.
No sugar. I like only white.
White coffee.
White coffee, no sugar. Yes. But I had 3 already, so quite up. Heart is pumping, so everything is all right. So I guess when everyone is here, we can come to the next topic. Yeah?
Yes, please.
Yeah? Okay. I have to wait for, yeah? I can start immediately. Good. Okay. All right. Good. So this is done. We are coming to the next one. Is the biomechanics. Quite important for everyone, and we know, don't think about all these ankles and all the stuff here. We don't need this. Today, we are talking more what is happened, yeah, from our side, call it from the rehabilitation and sports medicine side, to give you a clue how we use this, and also maybe give you some ideas how to prevent injuries with biomechanic analysis. So what you have to understand is in the muscle, how force actually go inside the muscle. Yeah. What is the importance of testing? Yeah. Why we need tests actually. And coming back to my starting point, for me, the most important thing in track and field is the right technique. Yeah, you have a wrong technique, immediately something will be happen. So these are the key points for us to understand and to work with. Please do me a favor. When you have any question, write it down, and then we do it in the end. Yeah, again. So when it's coming to biomechanics, we have actually 3 key points. Yeah. It's the kinematic, so how one object flying around. It's the kinematic, how the whole body is actually working. Yeah. How the human body reacts actually to any environment from outside. Yeah. And how our muscles actually work in different conditions and different situations. So when it's coming to all this 3 stuff, you realize it's quite complex. And what I say to you guys, for me, I was lucky because I'm coming from the coaching side. So I did it, my sports science stuff and my coaching for track and field. And then I went to this sports rehab. So to understand is much easier, because sometimes I know coaches, when they are talking to biomechanics, he looked in the biomechanics and said, I have no clue what you're talking about. And that can be happen. So we try to, for you guys, to make it easy, to understandable, and you will see that is quite easy. So sports biomechanics, yeah, it's actually a branch of biomechanics. So it's actually why and how the human body moves to the different environment, what is can be happen to him or to her. Yeah. So also with kind of equipment. Yeah. Think it's a very good example here. A gymnast balancing on the beam. The beam is very small. I guess it's only 18 centimeter, and this lady's doing their jumps, etc., somersaults, and yeah. Think about javelin. Technique is one thing. It's also the wind. Yeah. The weather. Which kind of angle he released the javelin. We have to think about this every time. Yeah. And you still remember yesterday when I was showing you this very nice picture from the top, how extremely, yeah, his shoulder and his elbow, yeah, was in a position what you can say as a physio that will not be good. But this is the right technique. And when we know that, how actually prevent that he got many injuries. So I guess everyone doing his test, for me, is every time testing is one thing, and a lot of athletes saying, oh, why I have to do the testing again? But I said it yesterday, the more data you have from your athletes, the much better is it for you. Yeah. And of course, not everyone have the money to buying a slow motion camera with 1,000 pictures in 1 second. Yeah. But everyone is able to buy maybe an iPad, and then you have a slow motion there as well, and then you can see much more than, yeah, with your own eyes. Yeah. It's also, for me, is every time it's a good biofeedback to your athletes to see what is wrong and what is right. Yeah. And also when you do a good technical analysis, you know exactly what is wrong. This is also injury prevention. Importance of biomechanics in rehabilitation. This we are coming now to my part. Yeah. For me, is every time quite important what actually caused this injury. And we here in Rehab, or also when I was working for the National Sports Institute, I have to find out actually why this athlete got injured. I'm not seeing this injury immediately. I have to find out also for you guys as a coach, yeah, what was the reason? Was there something before? And I give you a good example why this guy or girl start having Achilles tendon pain. What we did in the training. Maybe we increased the volume and he was not able to handle it. Maybe he was not flexible enough in his calf muscle and his tibialis anterior was too weak. Maybe he used new shoes and I don't know. Yeah. Maybe we did more training on the artificial track than on the grass as a runner. Or we was running more on the road than on the artificial track. So you see, when you try to start to bring this a little bit down, you start to do injury prevention. And this is very important. We want to know, okay, he's injured. We have to accept it. I can't run away from this right now. But what was the reason? And it makes no sense. Okay, there's a Achilles tendon. We give him an injection and 3 weeks later he can train. Makes no sense. Find out with your physios and doctors what is the reason. Because then it's very simple to avoid this injury again. A lot of runners have issues because when you change the shoes. Yes. Maybe the feet bad, what we call it in the shoe is different, but they have the shoe before. What I said already, maybe they change the surface from artificial to the road, or from the road to the artificial, or from the artificial to the grass. Think about the volume of training. Yeah. So was he actually can handle this kind of volume of training? We are going back a little bit. Think about the fatigue. He was telling you, or she was telling you, look, coach, I'm a little bit tired, but you said, oh, I have to finish this. And then we create our own injuries. So do me a favor, try to find it out, and then you will see, yeah, how to optimize your training. Yeah. And don't give any unnecessary stress to the body. Makes no sense, and you will see it's getting much better. Yeah. So what I like to do every time with my athletes to find out when it's coming to some injuries, and especially track and field, having a lot of tight injuries and feet injuries and knee injuries, what can be the reason? Yeah. And the easiest way to do this is actually a very good gait analysis. Yeah. So when we do this performance, we know that in injury prevention, yeah, is everything there. We use the proper muscles to get, yeah, and also find imbalances. We know already our hip is not perfectly, and then you will see. So the next one, you will see this video. You see, actually, it's very simple. So what we want to do right now, you have, every time when it's coming, we have actually 3 issues with our feet. One, we call it, it's a pronation. Another one is a supination in a neutral position. A lot of people ask me every time, oh, Mr. Jörg, I have no clue what means actually supination, pronation, etc., etc. For you guys, it's very simple. When you have a supination, a lot of doctors will say, guys, your athlete have a supination trauma. Actually, simple to answer that is he have a twisted ankle. And he twisted his ankle to the outside. And now my clue every time for you is very simple. Supination is you eat soup. You bring your hand. Can you see my hand? Yeah. You see my hand is going inside. And I eat soup. It's very simple. This is a supination. So I move inside. And of course, but this is my feet is outside, so I twisted this. This is a supination trauma. So guys, very simple. Supination means you eat soup. Eat soup. Yeah. Pronation is the opposite. It's exactly the opposite side. Neutral is this. Yeah. So one more time, simple for you guys to understand. Yeah. And the doctors, I know, do you like to do this? Supination trauma, and you said, well, what's that? So now you know. Supination, he twisted to the outside. Yeah. And this, yeah. And pronation is the opposite. Yeah. And what you have to check, we have a lot. This is also, you can have a flat foot. Yeah. You have to check the arch of your feet bed. Yeah. And when you have this, and you see now, this is actually an overpronation of your feet. When this is happened, you see already the Achilles tendon will be suffer because they are not straight. The arch, what is here, is not there. So what you can do is, of course, you can get an insole or you strengthen, yeah, your feet muscles. Yeah. And it can be what I said already, a flat feet. Maybe the arch is collapsing. Maybe he couldn't handle it when he was young. Maybe that can be also in his DNA. The grandfather had it already in the mother as well. Yeah. So when you have an athlete like this is not the end of the world. This is not the end of the world. But you have to help him or her, yeah, to come out of this, yeah, position. And it will be sure you can't change this in 1 week. This need at least 1 or 2 years. Step by step. And these people having a lot of issues with Achilles tendon and also with the heel. Yeah. They are facing huge issues with their calf muscle, especially the soleus, but actually you can't see it here on the side. Yeah. So it's nothing wrong because it is there. You have to accept this. Yeah. But help him with good, what we call it, feet gymnastic, strengthening exercise, balance exercise. You will see. Yeah. It works for him and her. When you want some help, what you can do, you can call me, yeah, or send me a message anytime. Yeah, we'll see. So, and now you come to the supination, and you can see what I said. Think about you eat soup. You realize that you're moving actually inside. You wonder, yeah, and the bone, yeah, moving to the outside. And that was the reason we put it in blue, that you can see here's happened. What you can do as a coach as well to check it out, check the shoes of your athletes. When you see there is the rubber outside of your shoes is lesser than inside, so this guy is running actually in the supination. Yeah, and when it's in the inside, it's actually the pronation. Yeah, so sometimes you can see your shoes yourself that you maybe on the heel, on the backside is something is missing. Yeah, because of the rubbing on the floor. People have this kind of issues with their legs. Yeah, and we call it now a supination. They have this, yeah, running, your running shoe soles is on the side, outside is gone. Yeah, so you checked it out. I said a good feet gymnastic for these people will help. A good stretching program will help. Yeah, and most important, a good strength for the ankle. It's very, very important. Yeah. So don't worry, a lot of these people have this issue. I not call it a problem, I call it an issue. Having also a plantar fasciitis because the arch is too high. And when they are doing explosive power, etc., they will feel the plantar fasciitis. Simple, do a good training and a good stretching for this, and it will, yeah, go away. But work with these guys every time on the ankle strength, the proprioception, balance, coordination. It's very important. We will do later, I guess, when we have time. We will do some exercise for this stuff as well, and then you can see. Okay, good. This is actually the perfect athlete, but it's not easy to find. Yeah, unfortunately we're not working with robots, but this is the perfect position, what we call it neutral. When you have athletes like this, they don't face so many issues. Yeah, because everything is straight. When you do think about your static, it's coming from the top going down, no issue at all. Yeah, also for you guys, you have to check the big difference between the ladies and the men is the ladies are not allowed to open their legs, but the men can do. So girls have much more what we call it the valgus, where the knee moving inside. Yeah, so a lot of injuries are caused actually for girls when you do jumps because of the landing, because they don't have the strength. So the whole knee is moving inside. The US guys found out that in college basketball, the prevalence of ACL or knee injuries, girls have over 38% more knee injuries than men or boys. Reason? Because of the valgus. Yeah. So every time when you check your training, check is the right technique. And when it's to come jumps, I will say every time your feet, your toe, and your knee is every time one line. You can't move inside. This is very, very important. So we said already, this actually is not the perfect picture for your, and you can see our hip is not in a good position. Yeah. So the stress on the hamstring, yeah, is every time quite high because everyone knows when you do swing, yeah, most of the power is coming from the quadriceps, and because your hip have to go actually in a good extension, not in a flexion. When it's in a flexion, something will be happening. Yeah. So important to check it out. You have to be quite flexible in your hamstrings, and also you have to strengthen your hamstrings. Yeah. A lot of people say, oh, I need a good quadriceps because their power. Yes, but when the hamstring is too, you will force the injury for themselves. Yeah. So we are coming now to the jumps, and I will pass you for the next 10 minutes to Xinyi, and quite happy that she's here with me. Any question, write it down. We come later to this. Thank you. Xinyi, it's your turn.
Okay. All right. So good morning, everyone. Okay, my name is Xinyi. So I'm happy to see you all again. So before I share, I would like to express my gratitude to ADC Jakarta and Mr. York for giving me this opportunity to share with all you. So as you can see on the screen, I'm going to talk about jumps. So jumps can be divided into vertical jumps and horizontal jumps. And vertical jumps include counter movement jumps, squat jumps, and drop jumps. And the horizontal jumps include standing broad jumps tests and single leg triple hops tests. So first, I'm talking about counter movement jumps. So how to do the counter movement jumps? As you can see, the left demonstrate features. So the first one is you have to look straight and arms akimbo throughout test and go into a squat, approximate 90 degrees at the knees, and immediately jump straight up as high as possible and land with both feet on the pressure plate or contact mat. So this is how we do the counter movement jumps. So counter movement jumps is used to measure the lower limb explosive power, and it also can either be used as an exercise or a test. So what is the application in track and field? Actually, it's all the events, including jumps, sprints, and throw. So there are 6 phases in counter movement jumps, which are wave phase, unwavering phase, braking phase, propulsion phase, flight phase, and landing phase. So next, I will talk about the squat jumps. So let's see the demonstration pictures. On the left pictures, start with the squat positions with 90 degrees, arms akimbo, and hold squat for 3 seconds. And jump straight up without counter movement and land with both feet on the pressure pad. So what is the biomechanics cues for jumps? In front of plans, the way a participant lands after a jump is possible determined for muscular imbalance or biomechanical complications. So a good landing is when the knees are in line with the foot. So you can see the picture on the left side indicates the weakness in glutes and rotator muscles. This is what we call the knee valgus in women, like just now what Mr. York said. Okay, from the sagittal plate, you can see that ideally you want to participate to squat down until the thigh is parallel to the ground. This keeps the test more consistent. So not all the participants can do this, especially due to the injuries. So because a person who had a bad mobility of hip or ankle it will affect the movement as well. So try to keep the test as consistent as possible. Okay, so squat jumps is a true force production assessment. It also can either be used as an exercise or a test. So used to measure the lower limb explosive power while inhibiting the stretch shortening cycle. Okay, so there are 4 phases in squat jumps as well, which are the quiet phase, the propulsive phase, the flight phase, and the landing phase. So I was talking about what is the difference between the counter movement and the squat jumps. So counter movement jumps use greater height most of the time than the squat jumps. So expected 20 to 30% higher. And counter movement jumps test is to test the abilities of an athlete to transfer energy. And squat jumps is less able to transfer energy, more strength-based than counter movement jumps. If the athlete's inability to jump effectively may be due to the motor control inefficiency or lack of technique. So next, I will talk about drop jumps. It tests explosive power, and it also tests an ability of the athletes to use a stretch shortening cycle. The reactive strength index has also shown a strong relationship between change of directions and accelerations. So if your goal is to change directions faster or accelerate quicker over the first 5 to 10 meters, this test will be a useful tool to measure progress. Okay, so drop jumps have 2 types. One is bounce drop jumps with minimal ground contact times. The second one is counter movement drop jumps, which involve a larger downwards movement upon ground contact. So there are 4 phases in drop jumps as well. So first is step up phase. As you can see the pictures, the participants had to stand on the box, arms akimbo, 1 foot on the box. So why is the reason with 1 foot hanging off the box? Actually, is to enable the participants to be able to stand off the box instead of jump off the box. So you have to ensure the participants is looking forwards. The second phase is contact phase. It's a ground contact. The goal of the contact phase is the minimal contact time with the ground, slight flexions of hip, knee, and ankle. As you have to ensure the participant looks forward as well and maintain the arms akimbo. The third phase is takeoff phase. Upon pushing off to take off, participants have to engage and establish triple extension for maximum height. So participants is not allowed to tuck knees in upon takeoff. Maintain the arms akimbo. So the aim is to jump as high as possible. So with a longer flight time. And same, you have to looking forwards. The 4th phase is final landing. So you have to ensure that the landing is soft. Proper landing posture is knees above ankle, arms akimbo, absorb the landing before the standing tall. So the drop jumps can be application for most of the track and field events. If not all, events in track and field involve limited time for force productions because of the brief ground contact time. And the events rely on triple extension, which require stretch shortening cycle. So drop jumps can be used as an exercise, a measure tool for performance, and injury risk assessment, and a return to play testing protocol. So are there how to assess the how to assess and make sense of the results from the jumps test? So you have to measure and see, are there any difference between the jumps, like the knee valgus, any wrong techniques between the jumps? The second is difference between the single leg jumps. You have to compare the left side and the right side. So are there pre-existing injuries? Or with a slow motion camera, are there any ancillary movement, improper technique? And the last one is, depending on the results, it is possible to assess if the issues is regarding a lack of strength or a lack of technique. So next, the apparatus for jump test analysis. The first one is the force platform. The second is the contact mat. The third one is slow motion camera. So if you think it's very hard to find and buy these all things, actually you can try to use the vertex jumps and chart jumps instead. So next, I will talk about the horizontal jumps, which are broad long jump tests and single leg triple hop. So broad long jump test is to assess the lower limb explosive power. It's a horizontal movement, unlike the drop jumps, squat jumps, and the counter movement jumps. So as you can see, the right side, the picture shows that you have to stand at the starting line, feet shoulder wide apart facing forwards. So when instructed, bend the knees and jump forwards. The goal is to jump as far as possible. So the further distance covered, and it means that you are the more explosive. So the single leg triple hops, as you can see the right side pictures as well, is you can see the power and you can test and indicates of the weak muscles. If the hip droppings means that the weakness in glutes, and you can see the imbalance bed, and you can compare the dominance and non-dominance legs, and it also can test the balance as well. So the last one I will talk about the quarter squat, which means squat deep with quarter of full squat. So the squat, the quarter squat actually is engaged the VMO more. Okay, the VMO is most active in the final 20 to 30 degrees of the knee extension, and it also plays an important role in patellar movement. So muscular imbalance is involved. The VMO could cause patellar maltracking. So I will finish my sharing on this slide. Thank you for your time and listening. So I will pass my mic. Oh, what is the VMO? Means that it's vectors medialis oblique. Okay, so means that is our thigh, the inner parts of our thighs. Okay, so sorry, I have to explain what is the VMO. All right, so I finished my sharing. So I'll pass my mic to our moderator today. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tini, one more additional to save to you guys before we come to the what we find out, especially with the drop jumps. A lot of athletes, they having an injury maybe 5 months ago, let it be a twisted ankle, maybe calf injury, can be also a hamstring injury. But we realized when we did the test with them, squat jump, counter movement jump, you can't see any difference. Then we did drop jumps with both legs. We can't see any difference. It was a very good contact time. The flight height was good. But when we did it with a single leg, we realized that the injured leg, the contact time was much slower. And the flight height, of course, was much lesser than the opposite. Yes, of course, there is every time what we call it, we have a dominant side and a non-dominant side. So, and a lot of athletes having a mistake, especially when it's coming to our rehab center, every time we say, look, what is your dominant side? Right side. They say, how you know it's the right side? Well, because I shoot the ball with the right side. I said, you're sure? very simple to find out, guys, and maybe that you can try it now yourself. What is your dominant side? So you stand, yeah, normal standing. You jump maybe 15, 20 meters up, vertical, and you turn. Which direction? I don't care. I'm sure most of the guys will turn to the left side. This is your dominant side because you're much more confident. Dominant doesn't mean I'm stronger. Dominant means I'm very important for you guys to know I'm confident with my left side. Or people that are dominant to the right side with my right side. Easy example for a lot of people to understand when it's coming to this. When you play football and you speed up for 5 to 10 meters, full speed, and you stop and you want to hit the ball, you're stopping with which leg? With your dominant. And you shoot with maybe the stronger leg. But every movement, all the force is going actually in your dominant side, not in another side. So think about full speed, like javelin throw, same thing. Javelin throw, yeah, the last, you step forward and you hold it. And this is your dominant side, yeah? And it's actually every time the opposite, yeah, from the arm you're throwing. Simple thing. And most of the guys, yeah, when we find out, the best example was we had issues with one of our best high jumpers, Navaraj Singh. He twisted his ankle. He went back to training. We was thinking everything is fine, and then it was not what we expected. So we checked, and then, hey, here's a difference in the drop jump between his single leg, between left and right. So it's quite strange. When we changed this a little bit for 3 weeks, suddenly he said, hey, much better. And he still said to us that he still had this inhibition to jump with the same effort and the same power and force that he used to be. And this coming from your pain receptors. They were still there, active, running around in his body and give him actually the wrong information. And luckily we found out with this test that there was something wrong. Yeah. And after this, we are quite happy he was jumping 230 in Singapore. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. And it was very good for us to realize, hey, it is possible. And this is one of the good examples how, yeah, rehabilitation can help. Yeah. Also with this kind of testing, jumps can help in track and field to show you guys what's going on. And I want to come back to Tinyi. When you train with girls, check the valgus. Very, very important, because we produce the injuries. We produce the injuries because it's the wrong technique. Yeah. Check it out every time and you will see, you will reduce the risk of injuries. And this is prevention. We are happy. Priya, thank you very much. I guess we can have a rest. Any questions? You let me know.
Yes, there is a question from Akit Chong of
that's
Singapore, Pa.
Okay. Would it be better to do double leg, quad or squat or single? Very simple for me to answer. Start first with double because you need the right technique. Yeah. And then you can see how strong you are. Also do some testing, how strong. Yeah. Don't kill the people first, but start with this job every time, double leg first. Learn the right technique. Okay.
Sir.
Yeah.
based on the athlete. Sometimes the structure of their leg, sometimes straight, sometimes going out, and sometimes going inside. So how are you going to correct this in terms of drills or training?
George, very good question. Actually, you have to check it out later. What we do, find out, I told yesterday we have strong and weak muscles.
Yes.
And normally the adductor is a very weak muscle. He will suffer every time. So when there is an extremely disbalance between the adductor and the abductor, we will produce injuries. So what you have to do with a simple test, call it an isometric test, yeah? When you realize maybe this guy can push outside in a sitting position, you do it with a cable column, easy and relaxed, maybe 12 to 15 kilos. But inside he only can push 6 kilos. There is a difference from 50%. So that means the outside muscles are much stronger than the inside muscle. So what we call it, there's a muscular disbalance. So what you have to do immediately, and when you think about jumps, my body weight is around 75 kilos, and I do jumps, and I don't have the strength in the adductors, abductors, also in the hamstring to keep my body weight straight. What I will do, we call it, you will collapse in one direction inside. When you collapse inside, you can do it 1,000 times. You can do it maybe 10,000 times. But after that, you will face some issues with your knee, cartilage problems, MCL problems, etc., etc. So for me, it's very important, have the right technique. Check it out with tests, what will come later. What kind of test I can do for all the different kind of muscles. And the more data I have, so much easier it is for me. Yeah? Okay? Thank you.
Sorry, Mr. George.
Yes.
Can I ask question? Because
Yes.
I want to get some clarification. When you're talking about the dominant leg and undominant leg,
yes.
When we train the starting block, the splitters, so there are some controversial ideas. We have to put the dominant leg front or back, something like that. What is your opinion for the starting block?
When I was an athlete, I mean, this is now some couple of years ago. I put my dominant leg every time in front, the left side.
Left side.
Because, yes, I can develop much more force, yeah, from this side, because I trusted leg much more than the right side.
Okay.
But this is my opinion. So everyone is different. I mean, yeah, we can't say there is a magical tool, yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that, but I guess 80% of the athletes will say the same thing. I like to put my dominant leg in front.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome. Ria?
Yes.
Joke.
Fire.
Joke.
Yes.
Hi.
That's a question.
I have one question.
Yes.
Okay. Some athletes have a unequal leg. Yeah. For example, maybe he has a right leg more length than left leg.
You mean stronger? The right leg is much stronger.
No, the leg.
Oh, the length of the leg. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So,
yeah.
What do you suggestion for this situation?
This is what I said. The most important thing what we had it this morning when we did hip flexibility and mobility, very important. It's normal because your hip is maybe also not in this position. It's like in this position, a little bit up. So nothing wrong. I have the same. My left side is shorter 1 centimeter than the right side. Yeah. So what you can do, you put the heel pad on, yeah, inside his shoe, 1 centimeter, and everything is fine. Yeah, but when you do this, Augustinus, you have a small issue. This guy will have some uncomfortable feelings for at least 3 weeks. Because he's used to maybe for 20 years to walk like this. Suddenly we change. And his whole static will be totally different. And he will facing some issues. And he said, oh my God, this is not nice. And I feel a little bit my backside on the left side. And we said, okay, this is fine. So, but the rest, accepted, it's nothing wrong. Yeah. Yeah. And when it's not, of course, when it's 3 centimeter, or 4 centimeter, I'm not more advisable to train with these guys in track and field because he will damage his hip, his knees, etc. Okay.
Okay, Jörg, thank you.
You're welcome. Good. I guess we can go for our lunch break.
Yeah, sure. So we will have 1 hour or
1 hour.
okay. So we will be back to the class again in 1 hour.
Jumpa lagi. See
Okay.
you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Happy lunch, everyone.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you,
Thank you so
sir.
much, Mr. Lee.
Thank you.
See you after
too.
lunch.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.